Hey everybody, I am excited you've taken some time to learn about a trip to Tanzania going out in 2018. This presentation will be about 20 minutes and you'll get a sense of who we are as an organization, what you'll do on the trip, and how we ensure that all our travelers are having a meaningful and safe experience. My name is Tyrell. I've been working with Girl Guides throughout Canada to plan their international volunteer trips to places like Ecuador, Nicaragua, Kenya, and to where you're going, Tanzania. Before we get into the details of the trip, I just wanted to take a moment to speak about the We movement, because that is what really drives our programming. The We movement is about shifting the world from me to we, empowering people with the skills and knowledge to take actions globally and locally to create a better world.
This is a life-changing experience for everybody. The visitors come and learn about our culture, and we learn also about their cultures.
किसी भी देश से जो यहाँ विद्यालय को सपोर्ट करने वाले मेहमान जो आते हैं और उनका यहाँ विद्यालय स्तर पर जो स्वागत करते, मैं, मेरे बच्चे और मेरे गांव वाले और मेरा स्टाफ, ये सभी इनका स्वागत करते तो मुझे बहुत ही अच्छा लगता है और मेरे बच्चे इतने खुश रहते कि हमारे नए मेहमान आए हैं, उनकी हम आवभगत करें.
Se trabaja mutuamente, porque así tenemos la oportunidad de conocer a las personas que vienen acá.
I think Me2We trips are very important because it helps to empower people to be active global citizens. It plays a key role in self-actualization by helping people to connect with issues that are very important with them, both locally and internationally.
Compartir, que ellos aprendan de nosotros, vean lo que nosotros hacemos aquí en la comunidad o cómo vivimos, y es una manera de conocernos y compartir con ellos también.
So it's not about the rich people coming to help the poor people. It's really about a global community building effort where we're using each of our own strengths to help make something better that's for everybody, for the benefit of everybody. The community leaves with an opportunity for education that they never had before, and our volunteers leave with a bigger world perspective than they've had before.
I'm actually proud and very much happy working with the organization Free the Children Me2We, mainly because this is the only organization within the communities that we are working with, which is actually making a lot of impact and changes in the lives of young people, in the lives of children, in the lives of mothers, fathers.
और अभी भी सुखी से और ये बाल स्वयं संस्था आने से हमारे को भी बहुत अच्छी शिक्षा मिल रही है. हमारे को खेतीबाड़ी का काम भी करा रहे हैं, कुएं का काम भी करवा रहे हैं, बकरियां पालन का काम भी करवा रहे हैं, और हमारे बालक बालिका भी बहुत अच्छे बढ़ोतरी हो गई है और अच्छे से.
Una vez que ya se va realizando diversas obras, vamos dando la oportunidad para que nuestra gente primero mejore la calidad de vida, ¿no? En el campo de salud, de trabajo. En la construcción ha habido oportunidad que nuestros padres de familia o miembros de la comunidad estén trabajando ahí y con estos recursos puedan educar a sus hijos, lo que antes no habían.
By having people come and volunteer on our projects, they are not only building the relationships that make them more excited and more motivated to help, but they're also getting the direct knowledge that makes them more powerful change makers when they go home. It's an integrated circle where you come, you experience, you go home, you share. The excitement builds, but so does the education, both in the areas where Free the Children is doing their projects overseas, but also the education for people back home.
Nosotros estamos muy contentos de tener a los visitantes acá siempre. Interactuar con ellos, eso es muy lindo de parte de ellos que nos vengan a visitar, y nosotros felices aquí de recibirlos.
The We movement drives our decisions, drives our mission, and is really what makes our organization unique. There's three parts. There's We Charity, the international development organization working with communities around the world to help them break the cycle of poverty, and Me2We, the social enterprise that sends people like you to go support on those development projects, to go volunteer. And we also have socially conscious products to continue to impact while you're at home. And of course, We Day, the celebration of the We movement. It's important to look back at your history, and in 1995, a young boy named Craig Kilberger, he was inspired. Inspired and shooken up by a newspaper article he read about a 12-year-old that was murdered for speaking out against child slavery, a 12-year-old that was enslaved himself. Craig really connected to that newspaper article, and he took action when he learned about child slavery. He decided that he himself wanted to go on a trip that took him to India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, a trip that took him to see Iqbal's grave, a trip that changed the way that he looked at the world and changed the way that he lived his life. And we want to give every young person that same opportunity, and that's what a Me to Eat trip is, an immersive experience where you're going to go learn how other parts of the world live. We work around the world supporting communities and allowing young people to go and explore. You'll be working inside We Villages, an international development model that aims at empowering communities. Rather than giving a handout, it gives a hand up. And it's based on 5 pillars: education, water, healthcare, opportunity, and food. We know that when these pillars come together, it allows communities to break the cycle of poverty for good so that they never need charity again. We know from working with many Girl Guide groups that you have the best leadership skills, but you'll be able to flex those and test those on a global scale when you go on this trip. You'll return empowered to make a difference in your own community. You'll be better able to identify your career goals, and you may just find out what you want to go to university for. As you approach your journey, this is a question that I want to carry with you. I want you to think about it, and you're going to have a huge impact on your trip, but you can continue that impact when you come back home. Now let's take a look at what you'll be doing in Tanzania.
They say that life is either a daring adventure or nothing at all. My Me to Eat trip proved that to be true. Jambo! To go abroad and to explore this new country and go on this adventure, it's something that you take with you for the rest of your life.
I'm not going to go through the entire itinerary line by line, but instead I'm going to talk about the 4 key pieces that make Me to Eat trips truly transformational. That's the meaningful service, getting your hands dirty, the cultural immersion, learning about other cultures and how they live, leadership development, flexing those Girl Guide leadership skills, and of course, safety. You'll begin your journey flying here from Canada all the way to Tanzania, landing at the Kilimanjaro airport, where you'll be met by your Me to Eat facilitators. They will meet you right at the gate, so as soon as you walk through customs, 2 smiling faces with a big Me to Eat sign will be there to meet you. You'll load up into a Me to Eat truck and you'll drive to our first stop, and then you will be off to the communities that you'll be volunteering in. Here's a quick peek at your home away from home while you're in Tanzania. You will be in the rural parts of the country on the north part of Tanzania, bordering Kenya. There are not big chain hotels, but instead you'll have a very beautiful tent camp. So these tents are actually quite large. You can do a handstand in them and your feet wouldn't touch the roof. There are beds right inside of them. There's 4 beds with blankets and pillows. You can see here in the top corner you have your showers. So this will be your first taste of access to clean water. There's not running taps all over the place like there are here in Canada, but instead it's a real issue, and you'll explore it and you'll see the realities of it. Fortunately for us, we have big cylindrical drums spinning over heat, so when you want to take a shower you yell "Maji Moto Man," and that is Swahili for hot water, and they'll load it into the top bucket there, and basically you just shower into the stars. The bottom corner there is the mess tent or the mess hall. That is where you'll have all your meals. Eating is really important on Me to Eat trips, and we ensure everyone's extremely well fed. So for breakfast, you're having lots of fresh fruit, eggs, toast, sometimes pancakes. You'll have lots of coffee, teas, lots of fresh juices. For lunch, you always have a protein and some rice and some beans, some local flair with some taste you're used to back home. there's lots of salad and lots of fresh vegetables, fresh organic, really high quality vegetables. And then for dinner, it's always something special. Sometimes you try a local delicacy like chapati. You might try a goat. And then of course there's lots of foods that you're used to, and there's always a special treat for dessert. This is by far the best part of the trip when you first get to enter the community that you'll be volunteering in. You'll know you're getting close because kids will become running out. They will be yelling, "Jumbo, Jumbo." Community members will be coming out to greet you. They'll be so excited to see another Canadian group come through because they know when another group comes through, it's an opportunity to learn about their culture and also to share theirs. So they'll be so excited. They'll be running up to you, wanting to hold your hand, wanting to give you high fives. So many kids just so excited to see you, asking you what your name is, how old are you. And it's a very special moment, and it's one you won't soon forget, because you know that the volunteer work that you're soon to be a part of is going to have a huge impact on the people that you're meeting. Access to education has been a huge issue in rural parts of Tanzania, and classroom structures just have not been able to handle the capacity of young people wanting to learn, thirsty for education. This is an example of what a classroom used to look like. And this is what they're beginning to look like. So this is a school building project that we worked on in one of the community partners that we've worked in, and we've seen some incredible things happening in this school. One example is when young girls come over from another country, from Canada, and the community members see how powerful they are, see how great leaders they are, seeing them on the build site, seeing them lead each other. It's really inspired the local community members to realize that their young daughters can do the same thing. So instead of having them stay at home and do the chores, they're now increasing the rate of population of young female girls at schools like this. And we've just seen incredible results from those young girls. We actually began working in Tanzania when Craig Kielberger first went on the Oprah Winfrey show. She was so inspired by his story, and live on air, without the producers knowing, she committed to Craig that she wanted to build 100 schools with us, and we built a number of schools with her. And we recently re-entered Tanzania because they saw the amazing work that was happening in Kenya, where we've been since 1999, and we work with the same Maasai people in both countries, and they often cross back and forth over the border. And they approached us and said, "Hey, we're seeing the amazing things happen in Kenya. How can we make that happen in Tanzania?" So we've started with 3 communities. Now we're up to 5, and it's continuing to expand because of amazing groups like yours coming over and supporting on the development work happening over there. Which takes me to the first stop of your trip, and that's the volunteer work, working on a development project. It could be a school building, it could be a clean water project, it could be a teacher's accommodation, because in order to attract good quality teachers out into the rural parts of Tanzania, they need somewhere to stay. It could be a kitchen, because we know that when kids go to school hungry, they're not learning effectively. So those are the projects you could be working on. And don't worry if you don't know how to build a school, we'll help you, we'll teach you. You'll be doing a lot of laborious activities, so mixing cement, moving bricks, building walls, but you'll be able to see real progress and know that you're having a huge impact. When you're not on the build site, you'll be meeting so many amazing people, the kids at the school. You'll have time to play with them. Like I said, they get so excited to see new people come into the community because they know it's an opportunity to learn and share and play and just get to know someone new. They might want to wear your sunglasses. They'll definitely want to hold your hand, and they'll probably teach you some new games. We have the honor of working with the amazing Maasai people in Tanzania and also Kenya, but you'll get a chance to learn about what it means to be Maasai. You'll learn from your Maasai warrior guides how they've become Maasai warriors and what that means. You'll learn from the women of the community what it means to be Maasai and how they're strong and proud. And you'll get to learn a local art, beading. You see these incredible necklaces and earrings and belts and dresses, and you'll get to learn your own hand at beading, and you'll get to make a rafiki, and it'll be something that you get to take home with you, and it'll be a reminder of the amazing time you spent getting to know these women in another country, far, far from your home. And it'll be a special moment for you to learn and just have a real conversation with these women about their challenges and their struggles and their hopes and dreams, and it'll break down those barriers between you and them. But believe me, beading is harder than it looks. When I was in Kenya, I had an opportunity to sit down and bead with some women, and I wear my rafiki quite often, but it took me 5 times as long to bead one as it took a local mama to bead about 5 or 10. They're so good at it, and it's a really humbling opportunity for them to teach you something that they're so skilled at. And I quite struggled at it, but who knows, maybe you'll be a little bit better than me. While you're in Tanzania, you'll be faced with the issues that these people face every day, every week, every month. You'll be faced with some of the challenges, and you'll get to explore them. You'll go to a local person's house and you'll learn about their lives and how they live and some of the challenges they face. You'll learn very real stuff, just like where they cook their food, where they keep their animals, where they do their dishes, where they wash their laundry. And to say thank you for welcoming you into their home, you'll help the local person go and collect water. You go on a water walk, which is a tough task. The local water source could be 1 to 3 kilometers away, depending on the home that you go to. And basically you load up this big drum, you load it up with water, it ends up being about 50 pounds, and you strap it around your forehead, and then you just walk. You'll eventually get back to the person's home. You'll be sweaty, you'll be tired, and you'll have this realization that they do this every single day. It's a really heartfelt experience, and it can be challenging and emotional, but it's a rewarding experience to go through, and it's definitely a point of growth for a lot of people. The amazing thing about you going on this trip is that it's not all doom and gloom. There's so many amazing things happening in Tanzania, and lots of improvement to the infrastructure and to these people's lives. And there's also so much beauty in the country. And one day you'll get to spend the whole day exploring. You'll go on a safari. You'll get to see amazing animals, elephants, giraffes, zebras. You could see a lion. It's an incredible day, and be sure to bring your camera. I've mentioned a few of the issues that you'll be seeing while you're in Tanzania. There's a lot more that you'll get to explore every night as you go through leadership and social issues workshops with your midwi facilitators, testing your leadership skills, testing your knowledge, learning more things about the country, learning more things about yourself, learning more things about your passions, and challenging yourself to take action when you return home. Bring some of those learnings that you've found out about and bring them back home, share stories, and continue to grow far beyond this trip. So we've covered the first 3 pillars of midwi trips. Now we're on to safety. Midwi has been running trips for over 14 years, and we have an untarnished safety record. And that's because we take a really proactive approach to safety. It's our #1 priority, because we want to ensure traveler safety from when they depart to when they return home, safe and sound. We have a 24-hour risk management line, as well as extensive facilitator training. So all the facilitators go through a 3-tiered safety training to ensure that they know all our protocols for any situation that would happen in country. We also do not use any public transportation or any untrusted transportation source. We actually have all our own trucks and all our own drivers who are mechanics as well. We also do not drive at night. All our participants are registered with their respective embassies in country. We have a full staff that operates out of Tanzania year-round that is there to support our groups, to ensure their safety and to ensure that they know what's going on in country, also working very closely with our communities. We have emergency protocols for any situation that is to happen, and we have exit protocols for anything that requires any emergency evacuations. We have an incredible risk management team that operates year-round, both in Canada and in Tanzania, monitoring all travel advisories, Canadian, Australian, US, and UK, to ensure we know what's going on around the world. And if there's any incidents of change in safety of the trip, we do include travel, medical interruption, and cancellation insurance. to ensure that if there's anything that changes, we can either reroute you to another country we work in, or we can go through insurance to reimburse everyone. Which brings me back to a question I asked initially, and that is, how do you want to impact the world? How do you want to impact those around you? Me to We Trip is a great place to put your stamp on the world and begin learning about yourself and taking action. And I know a number of you have already been on Me to We Trip with Brenda Lee, and we're so thankful that you've decided to join us again on another trip to another country. Continue to explore, continue to expand your horizon, and continue to develop yourself as a leader. Here are some of the logistical details of the trip. So it is a 14-day trip set to go out summer of 2018. The trip cost for airfare out of Saskatoon is $5,150. That of course is an all-encompassing cost. For those of you perhaps coming from another place within Canada, we will ensure that the group meets at a central point, whether that be in either in Canada or in Europe. Likely it'll be either in Calgary or Toronto, and we'll ensure everyone's flying together from that point. The only things that are not included are visas, vaccinations, and spending money. We do recommend everybody visit a travel doctor or their own medical doctor to ensure they're getting the best advice. Visas, there is a $50 USD visa upon entry in Tanzania. It's a very simple process. You just pay them the money, and then they'll hand you your visa. Spending money is only for souvenirs. If any questions went unanswered in this presentation, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. You have my contact details there. You can phone me. I'm in the office most days from 8 to 5. Send me an email with all your questions. I'm more than happy to talk about these experiences. I love working with Girl Guide groups because I know they're such amazing leaders. They do so many amazing fundraising projects. So on that note, I just wanted to send a huge thank you to all the guide leaders supporting the young guiders, all the amazing fundraising you're doing. It doesn't even scratch the surface to say thank you. Thank you to parents for supporting your young people going on these amazing experiences. I know it can be nerve-wracking, but you can trust me. We have been doing this for a very long time, and we absolutely value and respect the responsibility that you give us when you send your young person on their own Me to We trip. So I'm going to end this presentation with one last video. Me to We trips, we call them life-changing, and that's for a reason, because when young people come back, they come back changed. Not physically, they still look the same, but there's something changed. Their goals change, their passions change, their interests change, the way they interact, the way they act towards each other. So this last video is just a summary of that.
I was convinced to allow Adam to go on this trip because of Adam, basically. He was very sure that he wanted to do this after looking into Me to We and looking into the opportunity there. It was a pretty straightforward decision for us.
Me to We is so organized and made me feel so good about the decision that it became an absolute natural choice.
Saying goodbye to any child is tough, but Me to We runs a really great organization, so we knew that she was in good hands. We were more excited for her, actually, when we said goodbye to her, for the opportunity that she was going to get.
The last few weeks for me as a parent has been a combination of reviewing all the nice support material from Me to We and knowing that she was going on the right trip with the right people. I felt really good. I was very proud, too.
The updates were amazing. Getting an update that they had arrived safely, a picture with all of them together.
We knew they were having a great time. We knew some of the things they were doing from the itinerary. So it was actually kind of exciting for us to sit and follow along day by day and know that she's having a great time, and then look forward to seeing her in just a little bit here when she gets back.
The most important thing that I learned is to have confidence in yourself and to keep pushing really hard, because these people literally have nothing and we're so privileged.
My experience in Nicaragua was absolutely fantastic. It was great. I would definitely do it again, and honestly the experience that we had with the village children was so phenomenal. It blew my mind. It was just so wonderful.
I'm feeling good because now I get to see my dad again, but I also miss Nicaragua.
I'm really glad you chose to go, honey. This is creating change, not just these communities, but for a whole global scale, and to be able to change my outlook on how I perceive my goals for the rest of my life.